It's really an honor for me because I read through all your profiles. It's super inspiring, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from each one of you. So I won't take much of your time, but a brief intro, and then we will hand over to each of these women. And like Felicia mentioned, it's great that we are having all three women today. I don't know whether it was intentional or that's the way it works. And this is something I talk about in my work, that we do see more women in the social sector. At least that's what I had seen in India also. So first we will invite Rizan, and Rizan is actually the founder of a third story project, and she did some interesting, amazing work through storytelling. They create books for children, and the topics that they cover are the intersection of gender equity, innovation, and sustainability. And what I also found very nice was that they work with local Myanmar artists, and these books are targeted at the readership in Myanmar, so culturally very appropriate. So, Rizan, why don't you explain more about your work, please? And finally, what we will do is after we hear from all the three of them, we'll have a chat session. Start putting your questions right now in the Q&A so that we can pick it up later and we can ask each of the social innovators to address them.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm very excited to share my work. So Felicia will share the slides. Thank you. So I'm Pwint Rhi Zan. You can call me Rhi, and I was a managing director for 9 years before I moved to Australia. And when I studied at ANU for Master of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, I just graduated, and I reconnected with my team again as a consultant and senior management team. Before I started my organization, it was like um, um, all the decision came from me, but later what I learned is if we have more people who have more power, who have willing to share, it will be better. That's why we created senior management team, and we have 5 members so that we can decide many things, and the powers became like collaborative powers. And right now I live in Australia. Half of us live in Thailand, and half of us live in Myanmar. So basically, we live across Australia and ASEAN countries. That's why we started dreaming about what's next for the story project. Next, please. So before our vision mission and what's next for the story project, talking about it, I would like to explain a little bit about the story project. We are a non-profit social enterprise based in Myanmar. We started in 2014, and all the profit goes to the story project so that we can create more storybooks, and we can also donate more books. Basically, we sell the books to international organization, and they buy thousands of books so that they can donate to the poorest children in Myanmar. But what we believe is our books should read all the children, so that's why we sell the books to the people, to the richer family, and we also donate the books for the middle income family as well. So our vision is pretty simple. We would like to create a peaceful society for the children through the art of storytelling. Next, please. So to reach our vision, we do a lot of things. We have variety of trainings. All the trainings are customized training based on our audience. Sometimes we teach how to create stories for children. At the time we customize. We do adolescent training, youth training, teacher, parents. We do a lot of trainings. Before 2020, we do mostly in-person training. But this day, after 2020 COVID time, and also my country, we have political issue. That's why we couldn't do a lot of in-person training. Therefore, we moved into online trainings. We don't feel like, it's 100% as good as in-person training, but we try our best to deliver our message to parents and our audiences. And also we do a lot of webinar series. It's only like 1 hour series, which is really great because we don't need to teach details, but we also just giving awareness. So we do a lot of webinars, and we have more than 100 storybooks. Some storybooks for different ages, started from 5 years old to 13 years old. And after a few years, what we learned was storybook is not enough because we would like to change their behavior. That's why we create activity books. And later what we learn is we should also create teacher guidebook because we cannot go there by ourselves, and there are a lot of places there is no electricity or internet. That's why we create teacher guidebook, and we just send it to teachers from faraway places or refugee camps. And later we create board games so that children can learn more. The next, please. So in our country, we have a lot of problems. That's why we trying to break down the adult problems into children-sized problem. For example, peace, diversity, tolerance is really big problem, right? But for children, we use simple language so that children can understand more. But and the same message they will get it. In our country, we have 135 languages, but Burmese is only major language, and we can only learn Burmese. But we do have ethnic languages. That's why we try to translate into ethnic language after we create Burmese language storybook first. Now we have 18 different languages, different ethnic languages, but we cannot translate into every language, every storybooks here because of limited resources, especially financial resources. And most of our storybook translated into English because children want to read in English too, and we can send more books to people in rich family. So, and we also have one storybook in Italian because we work together together, and they donate a lot of storybooks with us. So, next, please. So we did a lot of trainings, and before 2020 we have co-volunteers. We had 300 co-volunteers who visit schools every week without. We don't need to force them. They go naturally. They engage with us. But after COVID, and that volunteer system is starting broken because of isolation, quarantine, and after that we have political crisis, which limit us to gather, especially for youth and teachers. That's why we don't have a lot of volunteers these days, but we trying to work as much as possible. Right, it's been 11 years, and we already donated over 1 million storybooks without calculating from selling the books to international organization. And in Myanmar, we had 330 townships, and we already cover 90% of the country. Yeah, so we did a lot of things, but it's not enough, especially before 2014. Like we can say like non-storybooks. There's no storybook which is suitable for children. So now we are trying to improve it. So before that, it's very difficult to find a storybook which can relevant to every child who is poor, or maybe like different religious, because most of storybooks are Buddhist storybooks. So now our storybooks can relate to many people. And next, please. So right now, what we produce storybook about environment, and we have like storybook for waste management. Now what we will learn is children don't have access electricity and internet, so but they still need to learn, and they deserve to have fun. That's why we create garbage uno, and we already developed that, and we already tested with friends and families. But now we need to scale up. This is not only local issue, this is like regional issue. That's why if I have a chance, I want to talk with people who work with for waste management. Next, please. Another one is mental health. We produce storybook about physical health, but we don't take care for mental health. So, but Myanmar have a lot of problems, crisis. Therefore, we believe that this is the right time to create storybook. So we already created very first storybook about naming our feelings, and the story is really, really beautiful. But we still trying to find funding so that we can do it more. Next, please. Sorry. Yesterday I was sick, so. And domestic violence, this is the thing that I'm really interested in right now because I live in Australia. As a social entrepreneur, you always want to help your community, right? So Australia is my new community. So I felt like I want to involve. I want to be someone who feel belongs to Australia. So I was looking for what is happening in Australia, and I find that there's a domestic violence. Another one is domestic violence is not only Australia problem. In my country, we do have a lot of problems of domestic violence. In Australia, they have a lot of organization who can help for adults. In my country, there is none. Even though we have, um, even though we have problems, there is no one who can help. We talk a lot about in social media, but there is no knowledge. There is nothing for domestic violence. So now this is early stage. Um, we are trying to understand what is happening, why we are thriving, because in my country, from Thailand and Myanmar parts, they are surviving. So I'm trying to understand domestic violence, and I really want to ask help about this one because I want to work not only in Australia but also across ASEAN and my country, so that we can create storybook about domestic violence, and we will prevent domestic violence. And thank you so much. And next, please. I believe that this is all the thing I said is some country already have it, some country not, and this is some ideas are very visit and very early stage, but I believe that I can do. We can work together in terms of collaboration, not only financial. Like sometimes we can share ideas. I want to learn more, and thank you so much. Thank you.
That was amazing, Rizan. Excellent work. I have some reactions, but before we pose some questions to you, we'll move on to the next speaker. Request you to keep it under 10 minutes, please. So we will
I don't know if it's just on my end that the audio is.
Yeah, I think Samati has internet issues.
And Jogi again is linked.
Okay, yeah, I think she got disconnected. Samati, are you back?
Sorry, I got dropped out, but Jogi, are you there? Joji Pantoja? She's there? Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joji Pantoja, a social entrepreneur that founded Coffee for Peace here in the Philippines. I think I gave my PowerPoint presentation to Felicia, so I just want to put this as a title, Inclusive Development for Social Justice and Long-Lasting Peace. At Coffee for Peace, next slide, please. We have been supplying conflict-sensitive coffee to the market. We listen to the people on the ground and on what they see as their problem and what solution they are expecting, and we guide them to understand the root cause of their problem. We started here in the Philippines as peace worker. With my husband, we founded Peace Builders Community, and we work with conflicted areas such as in Cotabato, Basilan, Sulu, and as we interviewed people, even the military or the rebel group, they would say that they are tired of killing each other or they are tired of war. And really, what they wanted is to really, focus on their lives and put their children to good education and live normally. So as we listen to that problem, and it seems so hard because that was in 2006, and it seems so hard that I cannot grasp what they are experiencing. So I offered coffee. And I said, let's drink coffee, and probably as we talk, we can continue finding solutions to your problem. So, next slide, please. We provided a tangible evidence of our message to them by putting peace communities. We saw years of conflict unresolved in this country, like over 40 years. Next slide, please. And we provided tangible evidence of the message of peace in their community. So we plant and grow peace one farmer at a time. Next slide. We started sowing seeds of peace by creating nursery and started visiting and training different communities. Most of them are indigenous peoples group because they are the ones that are marginalized in our country and sometimes with no voice at all because the government perceives them as always beneficiary to whatever program they are creating. Next slide, please. Another community, we stood with them in grief as they shared how their ancestral lands were taken by a large corporation. It's threatened by illegal logging and irresponsible mining. So it's hard on the heart when you see the forest deforested with no trees, and these people being victim because those trees that they cut fell into the coffee trees that they had just planted. Next slide, please. I will show you the video, and I hope Felicia could play it.
Well, is there audio, Felicia?
I think I have to share.
I think you have to exit first and then click share audio.
Exit
So
and
this
then
is a video that was created by UNDP, traveling to the communities that we have started and recorded the cases that they have been experiencing. And I just want to share with you so that you could get a grasp of what Coffee for Peace is doing.
Okay, give us a second. Oops. You can see my messy desktop. Okay. Are you able to see it now? Okay, let me play the audio.
Barangay Managa ay lupa ng mga Bagubo Tagabawa. So, from the municipality of Santa Cruz and a portion of Davao City, Digos, Bansalan, and Makilala is part of the Bagubo Tagabawa tribe. Ang buhay po namin sa Barangay Managa, yung pumasok na yung mga settlers, hindi naman maiwasan na pumapasok sila. Kasi yung mga Bagubo, wala namang kasing alam noong una.
So, relational harmony with others. Anong ibig sabihin nun? We are peace missionary and we work in conflicted areas and we go to the Muslim areas and we listen to their stories. As we do that, I cannot understand talking about peace without addressing the economic issues. My lens was looking for something that would address the immediate needs of those people. And I saw that coffee was being served to us. And I said, wow, coffee is a common drink for the Muslims, for the Lumads or the indigenous people, and for the Christians. So probably I could use coffee as an iconic product for peace, a vehicle for peace. And that's how it started.
Yung Coffee for Peace, silang Ma'am Joji, sila po yung nagatudlo sa amin doon sa Davao. Bumibili sila ng cherry sa amin, dalalhin namin sa Davao, doon namin i-process. Sabay kami lahat, yung may-ari ng cafe, siya po yung mag-process doon sa kanilang processing area sa Davao. Doon kami nakasinati ng yun pala ang kape para mayroong potensyal na tumataas yung presyo sa aming kape. Ngayon, salamat sa Ginoo nga ni saka gid among kape, ni taas ang presyo.
I told the coffee farmers that it's time to give back to the real owner of the land, to have that participation in the income so that the Bagobo tribe could really be participants in the increased income for their community.
Sa ngayon, okay naman yung mga Christians kasi nalaman naman nila na yan talaga ang rights ng mga tribo. Alam nila na itong lupa na ito talagang sa tribo, sa Bagubo.
Kung magplanting mo og kape, kinahanglan ang space niya 2x3.
So now Ariel, having acquired all those skills in processing coffee, is now ready to give back. So what we did was put the processing area intentionally at their place so that they could learn and be blessed also. So at least there would be continuous blessing from top to down. Coffee for Peace is not just for peace, because the meaning of peace in our peace is also harmony with your environment. So we support in protecting our environment because of the recent phenomenon of climate change. We need to be conscious in protecting our environment. And coffee is one good tree that could hold the soil and can be planted up in the mountain that could make our forest sustainable. So that's how we see it. So we really encourage businesses to be conscious while doing business, do good also. Because when you do good, you do well. So as you would see, it's not only training them on their coffee and planting coffee, but also exposing them and making them, next slide please, taste their own coffee. So they would be familiar on the taste profile of their coffee. So we teach them how to do the cupping. Next slide. So after that, like last week, I was just in Sulu and Basilan. So we help them reflect on where they are now and visualize their dreams for the future. And then we prepare them to take ownership of those dreams with confidence. And as you would see, this lady on that's pictured here, she now runs the property that we have rented from them. So she is our current processor of coffee. Next slide, please. Next slide. These are the communities that we have trained. And as you would see,
Carry on, Miss Joji.
okay, can you put that on the communities? The lots of circles after the up some more. Yeah, there. Okay, there. I just want to show you, when you see circles, those are the communities. When you see the houses like rectangle, those are the businesses that they have founded, or tribal communities created their own branding. So we have reached around 1,300 communities now, and around 10 farming communities have their own branding, and around 4 baristas have their own coffee shop, cafe. So with that, I can show you example of a lady who's a farmer who now created her own brand. Next slide. There. So she's Joji Marie, and she's a farmer. And then we incubated her business, and now she's co-teaching with me. Next slide, please. Next slide. Joanna is our barista. So after being our barista for 3 years, I trained her how to own her own coffee shop. So now she has a pop cafe that she's running. Next slide. In another community, I'm mentoring a lady who's from the Islamized community, and she has now organized 20 farmers that are planting Arabica and another 20 farmers that are planting Robusta. So that's the work that we have been doing. So Peace Builders Community, our NGO, Coffee for Peace is our social enterprise, and Kapayapaan is our roasting facility. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was beautiful, literally and otherwise also. And usually, the coffee is again a colonial hand down, and empowering local communities to take over and own that. It's a phenomenal work. Thank you so much for sharing, Joji. I'm sure there are questions. There are already many comments, but for lack of time now, we will move on to the last speaker of the day, Dr. Thang Truong. And she comes from a slightly different background. She's working at the ecosystem level. She's a social innovation researcher, and she's working in Vietnam. And we would like to know more about your work, Dr. Tran. Could you please share with us? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Sumati, for introducing me. And yeah, I'm presenting the Vietnam Research Institute for Innovation and Development. We are a research institutions, and we position as the ecosystem builder for innovation and social innovation and social entrepreneurship in Vietnam. The mission that we take for ourselves is mainstreaming social innovation and social entrepreneurship in business sector in the country. We dream to make social entrepreneurship in taking 5% of GDP of the country. So in terms of RIID, we established in 2017, and the first period of the first, period of development of the institutions, we rather focus on research policy. And the 2 years from 2021, we have a new management team by much younger management and operational teams, and we focusing on innovation and sustainable development. And from this year, we defined new strategic directions focusing on green innovation as our top priorities of support. Before, we generally supporting social innovation and social entrepreneurship, and mainly social enterprise in general. But from this year, with the vision of the next 5 years, we're focusing on green innovation. So this is the pillars of our research institutions, where we're starting from the upstream, focusing on research and consulting, to RIID education with RIID Academy, and then we move on incubation and development. So these are the 4 phases of of supporting as an ecosystem builder of RIID. In terms of research and consultancy, every year we sign contract to different UN or international organizations to conduct different industry research, like the social enterprise sector, social enterprise report, or of the country, or currently we are working on innovation, plastic innovation in Vietnam. So different, industry research around social innovation and social ownership sector in general. We provide service with fees, with ESG reporting and social impact management, and reporting as one of our fee-based service. And lastly, we hold an academic journal, which is Asia Pacific Economic Review, where we issue every month one issues around the topic of innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. So this is the research pillars of our activities. The second pillars, we're moving down of the supply chain, where we provide education service with Impact Hub. Impact Hub, it's an online education platform where we provide free learning modules for youth in terms of social innovation and social ownership in Vietnamese. And this year in 2025, we have our academy on Udemy as a shopping platforms of online courses, where we deliver free courses and also fee-based courses. So free courses mainly for youth and students at universities, and fee-based for businesses, mainly surrounding 2 main topics. The first topic is about sustainability, about ESGs. It's about social impact management, and the second topic it's about innovation. So this is our education pillars. The third pillars, which bring most of our incomes, which is the incubation activities, where we run different incubation programs for donors. So we're starting from universities with Impact Startup for Youth program, where we incubate and provide seed funds for student-based impact startup. So this is up to now, it's we have run for 5 years with Ministry of Education and Training. The second program, we run a 7 years program funded by UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, which is a forest ecopreneur, another incubation program focusing on ecopreneurship. Every year we incubate about 30 forest ecopreneurs for 4 months. And lastly, we run a social enterprise innovation support program with funded by Vietnamese commercial banks and in cooperations with Singaporean partners. This is the three incubation program that we run as a programs for 5 or 7 years. And the last component pillars of our activities, it's about development. So we own a digital map of social enterprise, social business in Vietnam with 1,300 on the map, which is imapvietnam.org. We are developing now a good markets Vietnam version. So because after a long, mostly, like 10 years of supporting social enterprise, I think the building, the capacity building, it's good, but the biggest needs of any social entrepreneurs is to supporting how to expand the markets and how to get more income from the market. So actually, we even try for the last years try to connect to Catalyst market, but it's also raised some questions about the requirements that the company need to have a website, and many of social enterprise or forest ecopreneur that we are supporting, they don't have website. So we develop our own like online markets where we expose listing all the product of the social enterprise in our ecosystems, and exposing them to the markets, and also connect to the Catalyst market or Good Market Global. So this is the Giao Thương projects, and one of the very recent projects program that we developed, which is a mental health innovation lab that we call as a MIND lab. For myself and our experience working with youth, especially with students, we can find like every startup competitions organized by universities, colleges. There's 1 or 2, like 5% of the ideas, it's about mental health from students, but it just stopped there. After the competitions or after incubation, it's gone. So we conducted a scoping studies, and we want to make a serious, an incubation lab for mental health by youth here in Vietnam. So this is we are also developing a website where provide informations about the development stages of children and how to the parent can support them, so that we can facilitate the dialogues and conversation between parents and children over the development of children. So yeah, so actually these are the 4 pillars of our activities, focusing on supporting innovation and sustainable development in Vietnam. So for example, this is the pictures of our activities in 2025. So you can see the pink one, it's about women programs. So we the first third quarter of the year, we run the Women Entrepreneur Award by Bayer Global with Impact Hub Global. By the end of the year, we also run the She Tech Fest, which is a competitions and incubation program for women startup founders, the national program. So we have women programs. We have different business incubation, as we mentioned before, like we have forest ecopreneur programs, starting from the beginning of the year to the demo day in September. And after that, we start to run the social enterprise innovation program with the in collaborations with commercial bank in Vietnam and Singaporean partners. For youth entrepreneurship, we have different projects, especially beginning of this month, we run the first ever Social Impact Expo. This is a kind of social job fair, the first ever social job fair in Vietnam. So we partner with universities, and this Social Impact Expo is under the title of The Host and introduced by Catalyst Now. So for the youth entrepreneurship, we have VISIS program, which is a Vietnam Impact Startup program that we have demo day in May, Ministry of Education Training. We organize social job fair in June, and starting from next week, next month, from July to December, we running a water research challenge for UNESCO here in Vietnam. So up to now, RIID, we work closely with UNDP, UNEP, and UNESCO as for different initiatives. We also plan to launch the mental health innovation lab on the World Day of Mental Health on the 10th of October. So you can see this is the pictures of different youth entrepreneurship, business accelerations, and women focus program. This is the highlights of our of the impact of our organizations. Actually, RIID, even it's a research institutions, but it's run by youth. Except me, over 35, and most of my staff, 100 of my staff is under 27 years old. So it's really youth-led organizations. So you can see, like, 1 year we incubated about 90 business projects with over 54% women-led, and with articles. We are very exposed, very good exposed in terms of news. So for 1 year, we have about hundreds of news on media about our activities. We partners with and in terms of medias, we have exposed to like hundreds, 10,000 followers, no, even 20s, with different social media channels. So this is the highlights of the years, and this is the partners, our partners with different ministries of education, Ministry of Planning Investment, Ministry of Science and Technology, with donors a lot, UNDP, UNESCO, UNEP, and impact investors, and university and colleges, because my background is come from universities, and I'm founding deputy chair of the Vietnam Network of Innovation and Entrepreneurship in higher education. So our network having 90 university joining the innovation network of universities. And these are the areas that we are looking for collaborations in ASEAN region. So as we have IMAP Vietnam, which is the Google map of social enterprise in Vietnam, we are looking for partners to expand to ASEAN Impact Map. We're also looking for, because I see on the strategic plan of FICE about the strategic directions, strategic pillars of ASEAN Rising strategy. It's about having certification, ASEAN social enterprise certification program. So with IMAP Vietnam, it's not only the mapping, a Google map, but also we plan to make a visual. Oh, it's a reminder? What's that? Oh, okay. Just now that I realized that, I thought this is a a mistake. Now it's happened twice. So okay, thanks. Yeah. So good.
To hear more, but I guess
yes. So yeah. Thank you. So these are the ideas that we are looking for partners to expand regionally. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's it. My team, yeah.
Yeah. Very amazing presentations. Thank you so much. And yes, as you were talking, Thang, I was thinking that ASEAN Rising, including, for example, the websites that your entrepreneurs don't have, and to take your entrepreneurship programs. I think there is a lot of opportunity. I'm sure today is just a beginning of the conversation for each of your work. I don't know, Felicia, if you have time for interaction, what do you suggest? Because I see that we are at 6:50 when we are supposed to finish at 6:30. So if there are a couple of questions from anybody, maybe we can take just one for each from the audience. Is there any question from anybody? Otherwise, I think all their contacts are available, and Felicia, when you share your presentation, we will also share with them. I'll definitely look them up and connect with all of you. But amazing, and again, what I like is you've gone deep into whatever you're doing. It's not just inspiring, very innovative also. And I think many of us have learned something today. So thank you so much. And back to you, Felicia.